weave in between them. But like I said, the airship is above. You can see that light. If I zoom out here a little bit more, you can see that pursuing unit there. There's not a lot of units on the ground right now. There's just that one in the close vicinity. But this guy is moving. He is absolutely moving here on the freeway right now. We're still 5 south, coming through Sun Valley. Blacked out. Ooh, boy, man, he's taking a lot of risks here. The more risks he takes, the more dangerous it gets. He's been sticking mostly to the HOV and the number 1 and 2 lane unless he hits traffic like this. Sometimes he dives over. Sometimes he just tailgates like that and gets them to get out of the way. But right now he's sitting at about 107 miles an hour, as you can see, flying down the 5. Luckily, the freeways have pretty much dried up from all that rain we had earlier. So traction's shouldn't be too much of an issue. The roads that we're seeing are pretty dry. Man, he's flying through here, just cutting real close to these vehicles. Weaving through the traffic that exists. So we've been on a couple of freeways now. We've been on the 5, we've been on the 210, and then we're back on the 5 now. He had been going northbound on the 5. He hopped on the 210 for a little bit, turned around, came back onto the 5, went north, ended up getting off up in Newhall, and is now southbound on the 5. So per the CHP, LAPD, ooh boy, yeah, we're getting close. LAPD started this pursuit, possible DUI driver, and then the CHP took over the pursuit. We've got an unknown number of occupants in this vehicle, and we don't know if it's a man or a woman behind the wheel right now. Dark windows, as you can see. We can't see inside very well. They have been blacked out most of the time. We've only seen them turn on their headlights a few times. All right, going through a red light. Oh, man, that was close. All right, he turned west. He's going west, George. You say you do have an image now? All right. Okay, so we lost our picture there for a moment. Had to do a little bit of housekeeping, but we are still here. We're on Victory Boulevard right now. We got off the freeway onto the streets. He is cruising still on these streets. Not quite as fast as on the freeway, but he's going way above the speed limits here. As you can see, about 60 miles an hour. He was 70 miles an hour just a moment ago. He has run red lights. He's almost collided with a vehicle. Very reckless driving, still blacked out, so it's going to be hard for other people to see him as he drives along at these streets. And they're not going to expect, look at that, 81 miles an hour. They're not going to expect him to be flying down these streets at these speeds. I would say we're coming up on a red light. He's slowing down a little bit. As you can see, the air unit is still above him, that searchlight, that night sun illuminating that vehicle, hopefully helping other people see him as he drives down these streets. There is not a pursuing police vehicle. There's the airship. You can see the airship. They might have called off the ground units due to how wild this driving is. But the air unit is definitely still going. All right, George, he turned south on, I think he turned south on Sylvan, so he's going south now. And we're in North Hollywood pretty much. Oh, he's slowing down. All right, moving through that intersection. Looks like he's got his headlights on now, so he's turned his headlights on at some point, probably because these side streets are so dark. Ooh, pedestrian right there. Ran that a little bit close, just still driving real fast through these neighborhoods. All right, coming out, and he's going to be turning west onto Oxnard, I believe that's Oxnard Street. And he is moving west. We're in North Hollywood here with a pursuit of a possible DUI suspect by the CHP. This all started about 40 minutes ago in LAPD Foothill. They initiated a stop for what they thought was going to be a DUI suspect. And the person took off, did not stop, ended up getting on the freeway. CHP took over this pursuit. They are still the pursuing agency on this pursuit. So yeah, we're westbound on Oxnard Street right now in North Hollywood. Looks like he's driving in the center lane, running this red light. Yep, ran that red light. Luckily there was no one coming. He slowed down. All right, he's turned off his lights again. He is back to being blacked out, driving at excessive speeds through these streets. Oh. Looks like he's turning in. Oh, he's going to go into the mall. He's going to go into the mall. He's going to go into the parking structure more than likely. We've seen this a lot lately. They like to go into parking structures and bail. There he goes. Oh, man. There he is. Oh, he just drove through that arm. He drove through that arm. Okay, this is a really, really big bit. This is tough. This is real tough, guys. He's going to go in here. He's going to ditch the vehicle, and he's probably just going to walk away. Whoever it is, it might be a. We don't know. We don't know how many people are in that vehicle. We don't know male or female. But he just drove into this parking garage. And this had turned into a following. It was only the airship because of how dangerous this whole pursuit had become with these triple-digit speeds. But, yeah, so right now, yeah, this is a bummer. The suspect, he drove right in here. There's a marked unit going in there. You can see that right there, that arm on the ground. He ran through that arm and broke it. We're going to monitor the exits. You can see the airship there. We're going to, remember, it's a red Corolla, so we're looking for a red Corolla. He was blacked out originally. Usually in this situation, what happens is they drive in there, they hop out of the vehicle, and they walk away from it. And it's a real tough, if it's not the registered owner of the vehicle, to know exactly what happened or where they went. We got another marked unit that just went into that parking structure. We're going to stay here and monitor things and see perhaps if we can get an end to this pursuit. But right now, we just can't do anything. We can't see in there. Could be anybody. You'd never know. Oh, there's the airship overhead. And they might have a description of the suspect, but right now, you know, they haven't given us any description of a suspect. I haven't heard anything on the radios. So LAPD is now asking for backup units. We're hearing the air unit and supervisor to respond. They're going to set up a perimeter. So what that means is they think that they can get a perimeter up and make sure this person doesn't escape. Perhaps that red vehicle, perhaps they didn't get out of the vehicle, perhaps they're still in there. But what they're going to do is they're going to try and set up a perimeter. They're going to get a bunch of units. They're going to try and block off all the different ways that these people can get out of here and find the people that were in that vehicle that led them on this pursuit. So there's another marked unit. He's rolling with his lights and sirens on. Looks like he's going to stop here. All right, we've been told he's out of the vehicle and he's running on the second floor. We can only see the third floor here, so the second floor is under here. So it sounds like we now have a foot pursuit. We have a foot pursuit in the garage. He's running on the second floor. We're going to try and figure out where. I'm hearing by the white Jeep in the corner. Nope, okay, those don't look like they are. Okay, we've heard it might be them. We don't know. They're running. There's more units rolling code here to the parking garage. There's, like I said, so if you're just joining us, thanks for joining us here on NBC. News Chopper 4 is over the termination of a pursuit here in this parking structure in North Hollywood. What we know so far is about 45 minutes, 50 minutes ago, LAPD Foothill tried to initiate a traffic stop for what they believed was a DUI suspect. That DUI suspect fled in a red Corolla, led them on a pretty decent pursuit, reaching speeds of 100 miles an hour and more. We were in the triple digits for a while. Eventually, we came back down here into North Hollywood. We came down the 5, got off the 5, and the suspect drove into this structure here. So we've got a lot of marked units now that are here trying to put up a perimeter and find the suspect that ran in here. You can see they're blocking off things. Right here earlier, this arm that's on the ground, that red light center of the screen, the suspect ran through that arm of the parking garage and tried to get up in here. He made it into this parking structure where we lost visual on him. We heard just moments ago that he was running on the second floor and it had turned into a foot bail. So right now they have lots of units flooding this area, and they're going to be searching each vehicle inside as they exit. We're being told that they're going to look in trunks. They're going to search every vehicle. So if that suspect is still in here, it sounds like it's going to be tough for them to get out. So these look like I believe these are LAPD units now. And they're going to be blocking off every single. So we have LAPD North Hollywood and Foothill units that are setting up this perimeter and are going to be searching all of these vehicles as they come out. We know that it was the original want was a possible DUI, and we terminated here in this parking structure. We saw triple-digit speeds. We saw them running stoplights. We saw them coming dangerously close to to other vehicles, to pedestrians. Just some wild, wild driving. And now we're here, we're waiting. We're going to see if we can finish this off and if we can bring you an ending to this pursuit. Hopefully, LAPD is going to be able to get in there and find this person or people, whoever they are. We don't have a description on the suspects. We don't have a number of suspects who were in the vehicle. So as you can see, they're blocking off all of these exits. Hey, George, can you give me an orbit of this parking structure, please? So we got all kinds of LAPD, Foothill, and North Hollywood units. And right now we hear they're requesting units near the Nordstrom rack side of the parking garage. So we're going to maneuver there. Let's see. I don't know offhand where Nordstrom rack is in this shopping center. So we're going to look around for that. I'm being told it's by the courtyard. I'll work on our exposure here a little bit. We got a lot of onlookers here. So yeah, George, see if we can get around the other side of this this parking garage here. George, my pilot, is doing excellent, keeping us right on top of the action. Okay. We have several units right here. All right, George, stop right here for me. Right here. All right, it looks like, I don't know, this is, suspect is possibly wearing a colorful beanie. That's what we're hearing on the scanners right now, asking for more units to the second floor of that parking garage. We got a lot of units here at this little courtyard. It's weird, people are just walking right through all these police officers that don't seem bothered by that. Looks like this parking structure, 1, 2, 3, is probably about 3 different levels. We're still hearing that they're requesting more units to the second floor parking garage. And here we got another exit with multiple units ready to intercept anyone who comes out of here. All right, George, just keep orbiting so we can see something else. Looks like we got some units headed in. Looks like they're... Okay, sounds like we might be hearing about somebody walking around with no shirt on that might be related. Yeah, George, let's get to the other side of this parking structure. We got a lot of officers running through here. Not sure what's going on or where this possible person is walking around. We're going to try and maneuver ourselves to get around here. We saw several officers running into this parking structure. Let's go back to the other side, George. Doing great, thanks, George. There's that air unit overhead helping out in this pursuit and this manhunt. We got a whole lot of onlookers here. Keep coming around, George. So it sounds like they've found the vehicle inside of there, which makes sense. They knew what vehicle they were looking for. They just have not found the suspects associated with that vehicle yet. Keep coming around for me, George, so I can get a shot in here. So we have at least one officer here. We have a bunch of vehicles here. Just a moment ago, we saw 4 officers running right into this area right here as they were requesting more units on the 2nd floor. So we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen, listening to the scanners, trying to find out as much information as we can. Hey, Bill, what scanner channel are you listening to? I'm not hearing much on CHP anymore. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here, so I'm going to pull a little bit wide. Okay, I'm back with you guys. Just getting my scanners all dialed in here so I can get you guys the latest information. All right, we're gonna... Okay. So if you guys are just joining us, George, can you push forward a little bit? If you guys are just joining us, we're sitting here at the tail end of a pursuit that started about an hour ago in LAPD Foothill Division. They tried to pull a vehicle over for suspected DUI. Vehicle fled, did not stop, ended up on the freeway where CHP took over the pursuit. They wound around a couple of freeways. They went up the 5 to the 210, back to the 5 to the 14, came back south onto the 5, ended up getting off of the 5 and making their way here into North Hollywood, where the suspect ended up driving their red Corolla into this parking structure. They drove through the arm at the entrance of the parking structure, broke that arm on their way into here. We've heard that they were running on the 2nd floor. We heard that they've been requesting more units onto the 2nd floor. They've found the vehicle, which is good. That shouldn't have been too difficult. They knew what vehicle they were pursuing. So they have found the vehicle, but as far as we can tell, they have not found the suspect yet. They have set up a perimeter around this parking structure. So the pursuit had gone into following mode, which means that the ground units backed off because it was such a dangerous pursuit. So there weren't any ground units immediately behind the suspect as they came into this parking structure. The air unit was overhead and was tracking them. All right, and we're seeing those 2 officers go into the parking garage now. They were walking, so perhaps not too urgently. Hey, you know, that might, I don't know, I can't tell. That is a red vehicle. I can't tell if that's the vehicle. That is a red vehicle. So the pursuit terminated here, and they've been setting up a perimeter and searching for that subject. If I'm hearing correctly on the scanners right now, it sounds like there were 2 suspects. 2 male suspects. And one of them is wearing a colorful beanie. George, can you push forward for me, please? All right, so yeah, I'm now hearing on these scanners, it is 2 male suspects they're looking for. There's another red car. I can't tell what that is. We do know it was a red Corolla. It had had its lights off for the majority of the pursuit. Only turned them on momentarily when I think you really needed to see. So what we're hearing right now is one of the male suspects was wearing a blue camo sweater, and the other suspect was wearing a gray sweater. I believe the suspect 1 was also wearing a colorful beanie. LAPD looks like they're checking the mall surveillance footage to get an idea of where they went. If the suspects managed to get outside of this parking structure, it's going to be pretty difficult to find them now. If they're still in this parking structure, there's a pretty good chance they're going to get caught. There's a lot of officers here. They're very good at their jobs. And if they're still in there, they're going to find them. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take to find them. Hey George, let's do an orbit of this parking structure. It doesn't appear that they're letting anybody into this parking structure. We've seen a lot of people standing around out here. LAPD, you can see very heavy presence here at this entrance, as well as all the other entrances of this parking structure, setting up their perimeter. This was the entrance that they went into. They drove off the street, off Oxnard, right here into this parking structure here. You can see the broken arm. You can just barely see that broken arm of the parking gate there on the floor. The suspect ran through that, broke the arm as they entered into this parking structure. Go for chopper. Copy that. All right, just had to do a little house cleaning, changing our radios here. They've moved to a TAC channel, so we had to adjust. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Hey, George, go back a little bit. Yeah, it looks like they might have a suspect detained here. He's wearing dark clothes. That is one suspect. They're searching him. May have one suspect detained. All right, George, can you hold it here for me? All right, so they have some reason to believe that this individual right here is a suspect that they are looking for. I know that they were going to be searching everyone coming out of that parking structure, so. All right, George, and just slide a little bit back for me. They were going to be searching everybody coming out of this parking structure, so this is only a possible. This is not guaranteed. This is someone that they are stopping and they are talking to them. We do not know if this is a suspect or not, but this is just someone that they felt they wanted to talk to. We do not know if this is for sure the suspect. Just someone they wanted to talk to. It could be that this individual fit the description that they had given out, and so they wanted to talk to them. But what we do know is they are searching that person. They are detaining them right now. And like I said earlier, the LAPD is checking with the mall security team to look at surveillance footage to see where those suspects went once they entered that garage. You know, there's cameras all over the place nowadays. They're going to go check that footage and see exactly where those individuals went. It's real hard to tell the clothing of this individual. We know that one was wearing a blue camo sweater and a colorful beanie. The other one was wearing a light colored sweater. All right, so what we're hearing right now is that we think that they had the primary unit. Okay, so there you go. You see he's being released. The primary unit came over and identified this individual, and it looks like they said, hey, you know what, no, it's not this individual. So they detained him momentarily. They questioned him. They went through his stuff. We saw that happening, but that was not, in fact, the suspect that they were looking for. So they just released him and let him go on his way. Looks like there's still officers hanging out down here, still searching. I would imagine once they get to that footage from the surveillance cameras inside, they're going to have a better idea of what to look for and where. Hey, George, let's go on over to the other side of the parking structure, please. And as you can see, that airship still overhead, still providing support just in case it's needed. They were overhead for majority of this pursuit. Again, if you're just joining us, about an hour ago, a pursuit call came out from LAPD Foothill. They tried to initiate a stop for a suspected DUI. That subject ran, did not stop for them, ended up on the freeway where CHP took over that pursuit. That subject was going northbound on the 5. They ended up on the 210 eastbound. They ended up back going the other way. They went to back to the 5, went north on the 5 again, went to the 14, got off, turned around, southbound 5, came southbound 5 all the way down here to North Hollywood, where they got off the freeway and ran pretty dangerously. We were seeing triple-digit speeds on the freeway, and we were seeing real high speeds on the streets, 60, 70 miles an hour. I think we hit 81 miles an hour at one point on the streets as well. So very dangerous, running through red lights, blowing stop signs, coming very close to pedestrians, very dangerous driving, and they ended up here in North Hollywood. They drove into this parking structure. We saw moments ago that arm that they drove through to get into that parking structure, and it looks like they ditched the car inside and foot bailed. What we know is that they found the vehicle, but they have not found the suspects yet. We know there were 2 male suspects. One was wearing a blue camo sweater and a colorful beanie. The other one was wearing a light colored sweater. That's all we know. We heard some reports that they were running on the 2nd level at one point, but we don't have any confirmation of having caught any of those suspects. So they're still looking around. That looks like maybe mall security. We got lots of LAPD units here. We got LAPD Foothill and LAPD North Hollywood here on site. CHP handed it over to them just a little while ago. So now we're just waiting for the conclusion of this pursuit. They set up a perimeter. The pursuit had gone into following mode, which means the ground units backed a ways off in order to try and put less pressure on the suspect for them not to drive so erratically and dangerously. It didn't really work. They continued driving dangerously and erratically and then ended up driving here into this parking structure where they bailed, and we were unable to see what they did after that because they were inside this parking structure. LAPD set up a big perimeter. They're searching all the vehicles coming out. They're on foot searching that parking structure, looking for those 2 suspects. Hey, George, can you push forward a little bit for me? Just going to look down this parking structure. Maybe we can see something that's going on. It's a pretty big parking structure. There's going to be a lot to search in there, as you can see.